Hey guys, this is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC, and joining me this week is Mike.
What's up, guys? This is Mike. We are heading into more than halfway through 2022 Electric Boogaloo. Welcome to another edition of the Countdown City Claudio Cast. Here we go.
And Tommy would normally be joining us here, but he's having a few technical issues, so he's going to be commenting through his Facebook. And this is going to be fun because Mike's probably going to say a whole bunch of stuff about who he is or isn't a fan of, and Tommy's going to be frantically typing to.
You know what? I feel bad for Tommy. I'll keep it to a minimum.
Okay.
Hopefully, maybe
to Mike's minimum. Yeah. So I know if you were watching us last week. Hey, Terrell, cool to see you. Bernsey, what's up?
Hi, Dr. Burns.
Oh. We had talked about, hey, we may have a show this week, may not, but Mike had a great idea, and yeah, it's definitely fun. Is to have some mid-year awards. Yes, that's kind of what we're going to be doing today here. Whoops, didn't mean to click on that. And we're going to be discussing some or give our own sort of mid-year awards here too. You're welcome to share that with us. And before we get into that, though, there is a little bit of wrestling news. And by gosh, it seems like week after week, Vince McMahon finds himself in the news here. So feel free to live chat along with us, whether you're watching us on the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel or on the Countdown City Geekcast Facebook page. You can also, if you're watching us after, we want to share your thoughts, you can tweet at us at @CCG_WrestleCast. It's right there underneath here as well. So we'll start then with a bit of wrestling news, and as always, feel free to share your thoughts as we go through the discussion. We'll try and share some comments here. Vince McMahon. I like how we all could just shake our heads at this. It's more and more allegations, more news reports, more apparently him paying what was initially thought to be $3 million has turned into $12 million in basic hush money for affairs that he had with some previous WWE employees, one potentially a former WWE superstar. This has gotten a backlash from a lot of former employees because I don't think any current employees would say anything because they like their jobs for now. But as Tommy just said right here in his comment too, Vince needs to go. Mike, you've been saying that for a while, and I know everyone agrees with that.
Right. And I know the way the legal system works right now, we kind of have to say these are allegations because we haven't gone to court, nothing's been proven or nothing's coming out of the investigation. I will say I feel like with the amount of accusations and the specificity of accusations and amounts and things that have been made, it seems pretty obvious. And again, we've kind of talked about this when that first group came out a couple weeks ago. Some people online were saying, well, if he's using his own money, it's not actually illegal. It's, whatever relationship between consenting adults. But where these accusations, maybe he wasn't using WWE money specifically, but I think where the accusations would get him is that it seems to be literal employees. And again, using a position of power within any kind of company, especially one that's become publicly traded, 15, 20 years ago now, paying off employees, giving them raises, that's, that just can't fly. And, assuming they're able to get any kind of proof out of this, then I agree 100% that he has to go.
Yeah. Burns says there, send him packing. And do I think he needs to go? Yes. I mean, we've been saying this for years that it's time to move on. I mean, Vince is in his 70s, almost 80s now.
Probably
Not
close
to,
to 80.
yeah, and I get it. This is his baby. This is what he's built up. This is his business. But he can't be there forever, and he has to know that this is a bad PR nightmare for his company. Um, that being said, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was reports about when the first bit of news came out that they were investigating the initial personal hush money of $3 million that he's apparently paid. He showed up on SmackDown that week, or was it Raw? I think it was SmackDown.
I think
Made that
SmackDown was the first one.
awkward appearance, and there's some backstage reports that he came back at and said "fuck him," as in
Yeah.
refers to he doesn't care. He has too much. Well, he has basically enough voting power within the board to make sure he doesn't ever get removed. Unless
Yeah.
he wants to. So, but that's Vince. This is what he has. This is why he probably won't retire if you know. Wow. Great comment, Tommy. Vince is 4 days younger than his dad. That's hilarious. But this is just the way it is. This is how he's always been. He's never shied away from controversy. We all remember the steroid allegations. We remember him trying to keep it kayfabe even in the news. The argument with Bob Costas. He always finds a way to keep it out there, keep his name out there. He's this somehow. He always finds a way to that age-old adage. Well, if they're not talking about me, that's bad. Even though they're good or bad talking about me, at least they're talking about me.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, the only way this is ever really going to negatively impact him is if ratings drop, so people stop watching, or if people just start selling their stock.
Yeah.
If that starts to take a hit, well, then there's not a whole lot he's gonna be able to do. So,
Right.
yeah. See if somebody comments. Okay. If he comes out of this okay, he should still retire.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing, though, and you kind of said it earlier.
Mhm.
It's the only thing he's really known since he was. I mean, I know he was working in the wrestling business under his dad. When he finally bought. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how old he is when he finally, bought stuff from his dad and took over all those little territories. But it's basically everything he's known for 50 years at least.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like he's one of those people that like he's gonna. I say that, but like he's gonna die on the job. Like he's not gonna retire to some life of hanging out and watching the grandkids and that kind of stuff. It just like a lot of the wrestlers that can't stay away from it. I feel like uh, he's going to go in there until he's either forced out or he literally dies. So
That's the sad part, and who knows when that'll be, and who knows who he has in line to take over too. But like you said, whether it's Laurinaitis or Bruce Pritchard, he always has a fall guy for himself, right?
yeah,
Someone to kind of step in and take that for him. So
not to get Marky and kayfabe, but I mean, Punk said it years ago.
mhm.
He's never going to leave. Not so much, Steph and Tripp, because from everything I've heard in real life, backstage actually seemed to respect Stephanie. We saw what Triple H did with NXT, and that seems to be much more fans in mind, or wrestling fans in mind. But yeah, I don't know. There, this Nick Khan, who's become the huge player within the system within WWE over the last couple of years. If Vince does goes, you are right. Like it's may not be clear who really takes over after that.
Yeah. Tommy, he doesn't have the mindset for it anymore. The genius he used to have is long gone. Yeah. He doesn't really, have the thought of what wrestling is now. And yeah, it reiterated. I remember that was what I was thinking too. And Tommy said at the Moxley saying in an interview, the Vince magic is
Yeah.
long gone. I remember him saying that as well. So, yeah. And I guess my final question on this is there going to be more coming out? What else are we going to find out?
I mean, I think Tina said it in the group chat. Like there's got to be more, and I fully expect whether it gets uncovered, like you said, that's a different story. But looking at when you hear the wrestlers talk about what the backstage was like, especially in the '80s through the Attitude Era, um, And then, I mean, you just hear stories about wrestlers in general from back in the day. You got to assume there was tons of other things that had happened that Vince knew, was okay with, did himself. I mean, it's almost seems like it's impossible there wouldn't be.
Yeah, for sure. This is and honestly, it's only going to take a matter of time. I know that there are NDAs supposedly, so whoever it was that was paid the money can't really talk about it. But it's only going to be a matter of time before the internet sleuths figure it out. You know? And,
Yeah, but let's stay away from that. That's
yeah,
we don't need to expose their name and cause them trouble because it's Vince is going to be the one who nothing happens to him, and they're going to be the one having to deal with the fallout. So
yeah, and I'm sure, and we should stay away from that. But there's going to be people out there that are going to release it, and
oh yeah, I mean I know
yeah,
there's people that are going to find it. I just think we should
yeah.
stay away from naming that.
Other bit of wrestling news, a little bit of controversy too, and something that was thankfully addressed. Jordynne Grace. I'm not sure the context of where this came up. Maybe you can shed some light on it.
So from what I understand and what I saw, every now and then in the wrestling social media, Chris Benoit's name gets brought back up, and
Mhm.
there's a group of people who still feel like he should somehow be recognized. That in a sense, the CTE and the damage he suffered almost excuses the actions, I guess. I don't know if everyone quite feels that way, like those people who kind of, but they feel he should be recognized, all this stuff. For some reason, there's a lot of people who obviously just think it's fair that, it's fair that he doesn't get mentioned and that, we should not really be going back to him and bringing back up. But apparently Jordynne Grace tweeted out, she even said, like, this may be a hot take, but I don't think Chris Benoit could keep up with some of the young guys in wrestling today. Um, I think it came from a place of wanting to get rid of to like get rid of mentioning
Oh, the
Benoit
talk
and
about
saying
it. Yeah.
like
Mhm.
you wouldn't even something like that. But obviously, it wound up kind of doing the opposite. You know, I, again, I myself agree that it's I liked him too when I was younger, but I like I said, I think it's fair what WWE's done. I think it's the right thing. Um, Whatever he suffered, it still happened, and we never talk enough about Nancy and his son when we deal with all this. It's always about his legacy. And Nancy in her own right, besides being human beings, her son, she has her own legacy in wrestling now that's never talked about. And that's kind of unfair to her too. But Jordan, so Jordan Gray said that, and then obviously, people were fighting with her whether that's the dumb thing because he was a great wrestler. Other people were just talking, but apparently it also got to like those people that were his friends, like Chavo, uh, Jericho, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, and apparently, like she had some time. She realized she had kind of, yeah, exactly. Tommy Nancy was a legendary manager. Woman is the name she was long known by, and had her own mark in the business, and it's just not mentioned because of that. Um, okay, Conan. So yeah, so he's saying like Conan, Jericho. Apparently, they all had like it's. I understand those guys why it's such a difficult topic to deal with. Like, for the rest of us, I think it's fair. Like I've said over and over, let's not mention his name and move on. Those guys that were close to him, that were his friends, I understand that. Like when they did the documentary or the Vice thing last year,
Mhm.
Jericho talking about it and Chavo, those two that were closest to them. Obviously, it's a hard thing for them because it's their friend still in the end. So, I don't begrudge them either way when they talk about things. But apparently, they started contacting her, I guess, and letting her know that's not really a cool thing either way. And apparently, they got her in touch with Daniel Benoit, the son who's
David.
still
David. You know David.
David.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
yeah. Mhm.
David Benoit. And there's like a screenshot. Apparently, they like FaceTimed each other. She apologized to him. She apologized to those other group of wrestlers, and then she kind of put out a statement. saying that she realizes that the tweet was not in the best taste, and she made a mistake, and she's learned, and then she helped donate money to one of the research hospitals for CTE and brain injuries
Mhm.
in her name. So, it happens with social media. We've seen it over and over where people tweet something, whether it's intended to be, good, bad, whatever, and it kind of causes a crap storm online. But at least this one seems to have ended well. Um, and hopefully nothing happens to her,
Yeah,
gets
for
canceled, anything like that.
now, and yeah, Tommy said right there the dangers of social media. Like, could you imagine if social media was around when the Attitude Era was going on? How crazy that would be.
Jeez.
Yeah. You mentioned it too when Vice did Dark Side of the Ring about Chris Benoit. And why is my daughter awake? What's up, sweetie? Okay, I need to know I'm live on the internet. Okay, I'll be right there. I'll be right there. Okay, when I'm done, I'll be right there. They can't sleep, right? This was WWW said would have been canceled.
Yeah,
Hey,
WWF, WWC, all the territories through America.
imagine ECW.
Jeez.
Vice did the Dark Side of the Ring about Chris Benoit, and then it was a 2-part, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it was.
Even that, was a bit of controversy just to talk about it. But
Yeah.
I think what's lost in that, and if you refuse to watch it for that reason, fine, I get that, I understand. But I felt I needed to watch it, and I think what I came out of it knowing, and that what I think the overall goal was, is you get an appreciation for Nancy out of this. Um, she deserves, as a manager, to be in a Hall of Fame somewhere, but unfortunately, because of her married last name, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And that was something that Jericho had a hand in producing with this, too, was getting Nancy's name back out there and how
Right.
great she was, and also getting David involved with wrestling again.
Yeah.
That's a scary thing. He lost his mom and his brother, completely tragic, and in a way his father too.
Yeah.
But it's tough for him to think that he would want to do wrestling after what all that happened. And but God, he looks just like his father.
Yeah, it
It's
really does.
insane. But to see him come back to wrestling, to see him at an AEW show at the end of that episode, of that 2-part episode, and yeah, as Tommy just said right there, the way he was treated, he never did anything wrong. I agree. That was something that people were so quick to attack him. It was like, why? Because of who his last name was,
Right.
David has a chance, and I know he's getting into wrestling. He's got a chance to make a new name and a new legacy for that family name, and I think that's
Well, I was actually going to ask you this
yeah.
question, kind of thinking about that.
Mhm.
Do you wrestle under that name, or do you use a different name? Do you
First of all,
go through the tough road of trying to change the image of the name, or do you just kind of start afresh, allowing yourself to be your own
I can
person?
understand him going with like maybe Nancy's maiden name. I know that was his stepmom. Maybe
Yeah.
he could do that. But if he were to use the Benoit name, by all means, it's his name.
Yeah, no. I was just asking what you think would be, or yeah, because
Uh,
Tommy said he heard that he does want to use it.
I mean, I
So
don't. I mean, if he wants to use it, fine. I mean, I think if he's using it, he wants to kind of not really reclaim, but like change people's image of that name,
right.
and make his own legacy for it. By all means, it's a name
Yeah,
he was
and I
born with.
and
You know,
and I can see both sides for it.
yeah.
Um,
And for all the friends Chris had, all the people that have come to his defense and talked about, yes, there was nothing leading up to this. Maybe there were some signs that showed he was going to do what he did that weekend. Um, it,
I
it,
Yeah,
you know,
it always seemed like there were signs that showed he was dealing with stuff, but I don't think you could ever have signs to show you're gonna do what he did. Like it's unless you're like a Ted Bundy where you've been doing things to small animals when you're younger, and then all
yeah,
these other things. But like it's I mean, I'm not an expert, but I just feel like it's one thing to like see like, oh, he's clearly going through some tough stuff, he's maybe not all right, to like what he did. Like it's I don't know if you could ever
yeah.
really say, oh, I saw that coming. It's crazy.
Yeah, nobody knew what CTE was back then. They
Yeah.
they blamed it on steroids.
Hmm.
Everyone thought it was some roid rage thing, And new research come out when people that played in the NFL were starting to go crazy a bit. When CTE was discovered itself, how it's impacted some
Yeah.
NFL players.
The
And
Junior Seau situation, which is
yeah,
always another.
Junior Seau was the big one.
Um, uh,
Yeah,
Possibly someone we're going to get into here in a minute.
yeah. Um, so I mean, I'm not saying CTE excuses what he did. For those that think, oh, he was on CTE, he should be. I mean, forgiveness is a different thing. Everyone's gonna have their own forgiveness for it, and then I'm sure David has had his own battles as far as forgiving his
Yeah.
father for what happened, but um, he did it. And
Yeah.
Jericho has said many times in interviews, should he be mentioned in wrestling after what he did? And I think Chris, if he said if Chris were here, he would say no.
Yeah.
He understands that. So um, it is a stain on the wrestling business.
Mhm.
It's a controversial topic at times, but I think it's one of those things that just we need to lay it to rest. We need to let David carry on his own path in wrestling. Maybe remember who Nancy was, or
Yeah.
mention that name. Um, if you want to talk about Chris Benoit, the wrestler, and if he could have kept up, like Jordan Grace said, that's a debatable thing. But the sad part is you're not going to talk Chris Benoit without getting what happened at the end of his
Yeah.
life. And
You have a stalker.
I know I do, and she needs to go back to bed. So, but yeah, share your thoughts on it too, guys. Let me know. Mike, if you want to get the other story, let me try and talk this a little bit.
Yeah, fly. No, I got some
Yeah, go
stuff.
for it. Yeah,
We'll
go
talk
for
about
it.
stuff. Okay. So there's a couple other things we're going to talk about real quick. One of them, I mean, I don't know if it's a big deal. It doesn't seem to be, but there was a clip that started making its rounds on social media from a house show, excuse me, this past weekend, and new SmackDown Women's Champion Liv was having a match apparently with Natalya. Now, the only part of the clip that you see is Liv hits her finisher, that little move she does where Natalya's kind of against the ropes and she bounces off, kind of sitting on the middle, and then like flatliners her back. She pins Natty, and then as soon as the pin is over, Natty gets up, kind of points at her, and like leaves the ring. Um, so people were like immediately like, "Oh, this is Austin Aries. She knows so that she's so unprofessional." And I get it. I mean, it kind of was, but like as soon as I saw it, I was like, okay, this is Natty. She's probably the longest tenured female wrestler in WWE right now. Um, I don't think this is something that would have happened haphazardly. I assume something going to happen later on. I think Tommy threw in our chat or someone that apparently earlier in the match, like Liv had kind of connected with the knee. Um, by now, uh, Natty probably is the longest tenured, and kind of got upset with it. And I mean, they're professionals. I get that, but it's they make mistakes. I think it'll blow over. But it was something that happened this week. It kind of got the attention of wrestling Twitter, and it's social media. Everyone likes to freak out, but I don't know. I think in the end, it won't be a big thing. Oh, maybe it was Chicken Wing in our chat that mentioned it.
Somebody had, yeah. Veteran or not, I mean, it does look pretty bad because you have to know whether it's a live event, live TV, someone's got
Yeah.
a camera. It's gonna get out there, and this is actually something that Natty, if you ever did watch Total Divas when she was on it from the very first season when she had her issues with Summer Rae, she got frustrated in the ring with certain things.
Yeah.
Um, and but I mean, if it was about a knee that happened in the ring or something that happened like that, she just won the match. You do your business. You talk about it backstage. You
Mhm.
mentioned that stuff backstage. I mean, and that's surprising me that Natty should be a veteran enough to know that. So, um,
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and I understand that it was unprofessional, but I kind of feel like she has enough veteran, you
mhm.
know, in her, behind her to kind of be like, it happened, it's cool, we'll, don't do it
Yeah,
again.
I get that. I mean, if it's unless they start making a storyline out of this, right? I
They
think
could.
somebody put in our group chat like Natty no sell or no sell Natty. If that's her new gimmick, this is going to be crazy. That might actually go off and make her career. and Natalya no sell Natalya or something like that. So
in other words, she just becomes Brock Lesnar.
I I mean that's one way to resurgence her career. I mean, my frustration and Tina's frustration with talking about Natty is she just doesn't have the charisma. It's hard to get behind her. Is she a great wrestler? Is she a
I
technical
was
wrestler?
thinking about this the other day.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, she's been a WWE lifer. Do you think her? It's not even like she's had a bad career, like you said. It's just, do you think it would have been better in a different company? Like if she'd been in Impact for a while, or maybe even New Japan. I know AEW is only 3 years old, so it's not really easy to say that. But
If she had been an Impact, that would have been a good fit for her too. You focus, there's not so much, but I mean, on some level, though, she'd have to cut a promo,
yeah,
and I think she still needs some work promo wise with that, like to get people like she did a great job mimicking Ronda when that thing it was leading up
yeah,
into Money in the Bank. That was great, something like that. But it's got to be, she doesn't really have like off the cuff quick thinking that some of the great promo people have.
yeah,
So, but yeah, like Tommy, I'd take a tough Natty. She needs something. She needs something to make it a bit believable that she can win the title right now. Because let's face it, I'm at a point right now where if I see her challenging for the title, I'm thinking, oh, she's not going to win. She's just like kind of holding the spot over until they get to where they want to go, you
yeah,
know. And unless it's a tag title, then she'll jump involved with that. I mean, I could see
yeah.
that happen. So, I mean, hell, for spoiler for those that didn't see NXT, uh, Roxanne Perez did not win the NXT Women's title because Cora Jade turned on her.
Oh, they already broke up Team 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, everyone's like, okay, is it too soon to happen? Definitely. Is it believable that Cora Jade could turn heel the way this is played out? Yeah. So Cora Jade turned heel. They're still tag team champions for now. We'll see how this gets addressed on NXT next week. But yeah, she turned on Roxy, and that's where the storyline goes. One thing I'll note though is you don't really need to prop a skateboard when you do it. Just use a real skateboard and have her protect that thing. So yeah, basically she tried to hit her with a skateboard and it broke before it even hit Roxy. But
No, no.
good old developmental
I haven't
NXT.
seen the clip yet. That's kind of
Yeah,
funny.
so it's everywhere now.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it kind of sucks seeing this happen. Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry,
the only thing I could think of in a general storyline, with the easiest way to go with that would be Cora Jade thought she was supposed to be like
to
the
get
hot
tough
young
shot.
talent. No, like, well, just that, but like Roxanne has kind of come in real quickly and supplanted her as like the young phenom of NXT. Because Cora Jade's only like 20, 21 herself. Like she's super young, and that was kind of like her thing when she first got in there. So, I mean, I guess that would make the most sense if she kind of comes out like stealing my spotlight, being the new phenom, you get the title shot, like you said.
Do you think this was something they kind of fast tracked because it is very soon for them to be breaking up this?
Well,
Are
it's
they fast tracking it?
WWE, so yes.
Oh, but are they fast tracking it because they have plans for one or both of them to move up to Raw or SmackDown?
No, I think they're gonna stay with the storyline in NXT.
Okay.
I mean, they're both so young.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not that I don't think they're capable of being main roster. They're both honestly super talented for their age. But it's WWE main roster, so do you really want them to go there? Well, then again, this
As
is
a
new
wrestling fan,
NXT, so I
no,
don't know.
but I feel like they're trying to, with Paige's not contract over, are they trying to find the next Page, the next 19 or 20-year-old, next young person to win a title and be like that, have the career they wanted to have with Paige had she not gotten hurt, you know?
They've spent so much time trying to find the next thing that they used to have that they
Yeah,
really don't let new things get created.
I agree.
Um,
They should let it happen, but yeah.
or Tommy, yeah, Tommy said it best. No,
Yeah, they did
it's
because
simply because WWE is dumb.
good is dumb. Yeah. So, any other bit of wrestling news? I think those are kind of the big.
Yeah, the thing I sent you. Did you
Oh
want to do
yes,
that?
yes. Let me share that with you guys.
Because as you guys can see, I am wearing the official Daphne shirt that they made for her. Um, that was done in her honor. Proceeds going to her and stuff. And so, JC's pulling this up. Some of her friends in the wrestling business have this great idea to honor her. I guess her birthday is coming up on July 17th. So here we go. Ice Cream Day. Should we read it out or should we let the people read it?
I can kind of read through this for you.
Okay.
So, in honor of the birthday of our beloved Scream Queen Daphne, we'd like to dedicate July 17th as Ice Cream Day. Join us in the act of giving. For example, volunteer at a food bank, help at a local animal shelter, or donate to a mental health organization. The choice is all yours. Daphne gave so much to us. Let's give back with her smile on our hearts and her laugh in our ears. In addition, July 17th is a perfect day to celebrate with some ice cream. Post pictures of yourself wearing green and enjoying some delicious birthday ice cream. Use the hashtags hashtag Dafanatics, hashtag Ice Cream Day to share. July 17th, of course, is this Sunday. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I love that. We all have nothing but love and fondness for Daphne. Um, still brings a little bit of a tear to my eye when I start thinking about things with her. But yeah, so looking forward to this. Gonna definitely jump in on that and want to help out. So want to spread the word to those of y'all watching as well. I think Sassy Stephanie on Twitter and like Lexi Fry have been too, and then I think other people. There's a large group because there's that large group of indie wrestlers. A lot of them now are kind of in the companies, and the bigger companies, but that they grew up on the indie scene together. There's still a few stalwarts. You're actually, Mercedes Martinez is in a company now, but Lufisto and a lot of those that have been there a long time. They all knew each other from the indie scene, and a lot of those were the same people trying to help things out when everything happened. So I'm sure if you follow a lot of those people, you'll see this stuff. But I just wanted to share that with everyone and spread that because I really like doing that and honoring her. So
Yeah. Good stuff. Stuff.
right there with you, Tommy. Right there with you, buddy.
Oh, I missed the chat. Let me see what
That's
you
okay.
said.
He just threw it out.
Oh, I miss Daphne so much. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think we all do, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into our mid-year awards, guys. So for those of y'all that have followed us for a long time, this is kind of the first time we're doing something mid-year. Usually we're doing something year-end. What we're gonna do is we have a few categories, and we're gonna share our thoughts on each one. Feel free to type yours in the chat here as well. Let's start with best male wrestler so far of 2022. Mike, you're welcome to go first.
Okay, this is a tough one.
Mhm.
I've kind of narrowed. I kind of had it narrowed down to two, and I was really going back and forth with it, trying to figure it out. And I think it's a close one. And maybe if you had asked me 5 minutes ago, my answer would have been the other person. But I think I'm going to go with John Moxley uh, at the number one spot. Right behind him, for what it's worth, is Josh Alexander. Those two have, pretty much. I mean, champ and interim champ. I know Moxley had lost the belt, um, but he really came back strong for me. The stuff he did with Brian Danielson to form the Blackpool Combat Club, the stuff he did with Wheeler Yuta, to get Wheeler Yuta into the Blackpool Combat Club, and then coming back to Forbidden Door, beating Tanahashi, right here at the end. I think he's just. I mean, to me, he's the face of AEW. Like he's the strongest one. I think he's like the one that you want to. I mean, I know they have a lot of young talent. I know Omega's been hurt and stuff like that. But I really feel like, and talking about their difference in WWE, like Moxley has found himself so much, and he's just on a different level. So that's mine.
I'm somewhat on the same vein. It is an AEW pick for me, but I'm gonna go CM Punk so far. It's barring injuries, he's the champ right now. Even to the point where he is champ, and he's still champ despite his injury. He went on a tear. He's coming back into wrestling. Any other person might have half-assed their way through this, but he's been back. He's shown wrestling. He's mentoring some younger talent, and he rode that all the way to winning the AEW World Championship. And had it not been for an injury, who knows what kind of classic he could have had with Tanahashi. So um, Tommy says his would be either Mox, CM Punk, or Jay White.
Can you narrow it to one, Tommy?
I don't think he
Can you
can.
choose? Okay, we'll give you those. Yeah, so it's literally ours and Jay White.
Yeah,
And of course, and we're going to be honest with these awards.
yeah.
Like me and JC don't really get to see as much New Japan as probably. Tommy says no, he won't. Fair enough. We don't see as much New Japan, and we know what goes on in WWE. We don't watch it on a regular basis. So are these going to be a little biased? Yes, but it's our show.
That's how we do things. Yeah. Best female wrestler of the year so far, and I'll go first this time. Mine might be a little biased here, but I'm gonna go Thunder Rosa. This, not, I mean, maybe not at all, but some could argue Liv Morgan, but I mean, she's just getting started. Give me the end of the year, she's might have a potential to be considered female wrestler of the year, but Thunder Rosa in March won the AEW Women's Championship. She's held it since then, and yeah, granted, the TV time has been lacking a bit, but that's not on her. That's for them. And I think after some people have started to ask questions about that, she's been getting that time. She's been putting on great matches. Whether it be with Toni Storm or Serena Deeb, whoever she was in the ring with, and this I fully expect her to hold this title for a long time. So I'm going to go with Thunder Rosa, female wrestler of the year so far for 2022. Tommy is Sayuri from Stardom. She's been killing it since winning their world title. So that's who Tommy's going for to make your point. Mike, what about you?
I was actually going to go the same as you, Thunder Rosa. Even before she won the title in March, where we were there at the Coliseum, she had that match on the pay-per-view with Britt Baker like a couple weeks before, and we were really unsure like why she wasn't winning then, but it was a good match. A lot of people may forget, even though in the it's okay. No, in the TNT Women's Championship that eventually Jade won, Thunder Rosa gave her a hell of a match, and as much as they tried to make Jade look like a Brock Lesnar, basically, Thunder was one of the first matches where Jade really looked vulnerable. So yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Like you said, Liv kind of late. Rhea might have had a chance, but another thing that's happened a lot recently is injuries. And that's kind of affected some people here and there. So, but no, I agree with this. Whoa, Tommy.
Yeah. Yeah, you better watch how you say things, man. Language, grammar. All right. Tag team so far of the year.
I feel like this might be anonymous from the three of us, but go ahead.
FTR.
Right?
Yes.
Is there any other choice, Tommy?
I know he.
Jade is Goldberg. Thunder Rosa is Sting. Okay. I got you.
Interesting. Honestly, you can go back and forth whether it's FTR or the Usos.
Right,
obviously FTR. It could be the FTR or Usos. And say what you want about WWE, the Usos are holding both titles right now. They're putting on some classics as a tag team match, but FTR holding titles in two different companies right now. Two on American TV, or not even American, but New Japan, Ring of Honor. I think they have some in Mexico too.
Triple H. I think they have the Triple H.
Yeah, Triple A.
Triple A. Sorry.
AAA, yeah. So they're right now the best tag team in the world. That Tag Team 50 comes out, they better be number one at this point. But yeah. So close second is Briscoes, because Tommy was the FTR.
I can totally get that, Tommy. I personally, like I said, even though I don't watch the product, I would probably put the Usos second, only because I haven't seen the Briscoes as much throughout the beginning of this year. I know the matches they've had have been brilliant. I really think the Usos, ROH, IWGP, and AAA tag champs. I really think the Usos are also almost suffering right now from like not having or WWE not presenting them with legit competition in other tag teams.
Yeah.
Like Rated RKO was a fun thing, but again, that was a thrown together tag team. Street Profits are always good. They just never quite get that push, and they never quite get it over Usos. Um, and New Day is always there, but losing Big E was really hard for them. Um,
They
I
haven't
feel
been
like
the
it's
same
kind of
since.
affected their teaming and their stories. So
Mm.
yeah, but FTR, with unanimous choice, and then a couple people we could see there in the second spot.
Now, best pay per view. Now, here's what I want to notate before we reveal ours. Based on our WrestleCast ratings, now I guess I can't really say our individually, but I'll say based on our WrestleCast ratings that we've given, our top pay per view of the year so far has been Impact Slammiversary.
Interesting.
So yeah, that one got a 4.875. So based on how our WrestleCast ratings have come out, Slammiversary has been tops. Now, if we're going by individuals, Tommy's got a three-way tie he's got to pick from. He's got to pick between Wrestle Kingdom, Slammiversary, and Forbidden Door. Based on your top ratings, Mike, you got to pick between Hard to Kill, AEW Revolution, and Slammiversary. So for me, mine, and I don't think I rated Slammiversary only because I hadn't seen it yet. But my top pay per view, and and Slammiversary is definitely there. I've seen it now. It probably would be number one, but I'm gonna go based on, and it's hard for me to disagree with this one too. Hard to Kill, Impact's first pay per view of the year. Mickey James versus Deanna in a death match. So
Yeah.
that one. What?
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Because I'm with you there, and then I just remembered something about what you asked me earlier, and that's going to change my answer a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Moose defeating Cardona and Morrissey. Gresham beating Chris Sabin. Alexander beating Jonah. This was kind of the first pay per view to kick off the year and kind of set things in motion for where we're at now. And it's kind of started the string as far as like what Impact's pay per views. This has kind of been a resurgence for them. The fact that we've already halfway through the year, we're talking about Slammiversary as being one of the best pay per views of the year, and it really did start with Hard to Kill. But Tommy is staying. I'm sticking with Slammiversary. Yeah. So with yours. So
I was almost on the same thing, and then I realized I told you the wrong answer earlier, and I remembered I gave Forbidden Door a 5.
Oh, you gave it a
the
5.
most obvious reason.
Yeah.
And that is because Claudio returned. So
Yeah.
for my pure Claudio bias, I'm going to have to go with Forbidden Door as my top pay-per-view of the year. Because now that I think about it, I actually did give it a 5 because Claudio returned. And my life has not been the same since then. So foolish me for forgetting that earlier.
Well, while you and Tommy, I think Tommy gave it a 5 as well for Forbidden Door. I wasn't on that show, but I can go ahead and share my rating for that now, and that's a 4.25. It's only because Toriano was not on that show. Sorry. Yeah, you not have the two-time king of pro wrestling on Forbidden Door is beyond me. Sorry, you lose 0.75 points for that. Great show otherwise, but you missed Toriano. So that actually puts it at 4.75 for Forbidden Door. Sorry. I'm the one that's bringing the rating down. Reaction. I was waiting for it. But yeah, Forbidden Door's up there. But yeah, Slammiversary, remarkable show for us. It really was, and it's that might come into one of my personal final awards there later, which we're actually going to get into now. So this one is, and if you've been watching, you're welcome to share yours too. If we have our own personal award that we want to. Part of my plan, Tommy. That's why your shit's not working right now. Our own personal kind of award that we want to give for the mid-year. Maybe it's something that you want to do. That's something that's happening now. Something that you might have a prediction for the future of the year, or kind of both, a little bit like that. So feel free to share yours as well. Mike, you're welcome to go first if you have your.
Okay, I'm going to make this two short. Reward. Wow, Tommy. Guess you upset him with that score. The first award is based off the first half of the year, and it's the "Where Are You, Dear God? Please Come Back" award, and it was originally tied between two people until the very end of the first half of the year,
Yep.
and that second person came back. So now the award goes to Bailey. I know you're injured,
Mhm.
and I know you were going through rehab, but dear God, where are you? Please get back on my television. That award goes to Bailey.
All right.
The second award is the anticipated breakout performance of the second half of the year. And that goes to that person who came back, and that's, of course, Claudio. Those are my two personal awards.
I expect nothing less from you, Mike. Tommy, feel free to share yours as well, and if you're watching, yeah, everyone else share yours as well. Mine is gonna be, I guess I'm gonna call it like a prediction for promotion of the year, wrestling promotion of the year, and this is, I guess, more of a mid-year prediction, but I'll say it right now. Impact Wrestling. For the last 2 years we've had is AEW, and Impact has really taken it as a challenge to kind of build it up here. So I'm gonna say my I'm gonna say my prediction is for Impact Wrestling, by when all is said and done, if they keep going the route that they've been going, they will have my vote to be the wrestling promotion of the year.
Yeah, I honestly have no complaints about you saying that.
Yeah.
They have been really solid and steady throughout the whole year. And as much as we've loved AEW, they've had a few missteps here and there, nothing big. But no, I don't really have any issue with you saying that at all.
Yeah. Tommy has a couple. First award, Two Heels Better Than MJF award, Christian Cage and Jay White. And a second award, Hottest La Rosa Negra award, La Rosa Negra. Yes.
Wow. I mean, he's not wrong, but
No. His definitely agrees with us. Impact has been the top wrestling company this year. Now, as far as like, I guess you can call it like I don't know if you can call this like a breakout star, but a second half. I'm gonna say second half resurgence award, and that's something I guess I'm most looking forward to seeing based on where this year has ended up. Is a face Dolph Ziggler. You know, seeing that at the end of Raw, and granted, I only caught the end of Raw because it was the part of my Miz and Mrs. But still, seeing a Dolph Ziggler return and be a face, I'm like, okay, I see where you're going with this. I want to see something useful with this, and whether it gets him in the world title picture or something. But I think people would get behind a face turn Dolph Ziggler and ride that momentum through the end of the year.
you know how I know they're starting to give Theory a big push?
Why is that?
He's starting his Dolph Ziggler feud.
Yeah, it's probably
Dolph Ziggler's going to go out there and make him look like $1 million.
Yeah, I mean he sold the super kick at the end of Raw pretty well too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it says I haven't seen face Dolph Ziggler in like 6 years. Yeah, so true. So, but yeah, that I guess those are a couple of awards here. Final thing I'll say, I want to see this MJF thing really play out into a hell of a storyline, and I really hope they push that in through pretty soon.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they finally deal with it. I guess I had some speculation. He might show up at Forbidden Door, affect that interim championship match, but we'll see. Again, playing that kayfabe, shoot, not a shoot. Wardlow was doing some interviews this past week and basically kind of said real quickly, yeah, MJF really is a jerk and then an a-hole backstage. He's like, I had to deal with him for 3 years. So you assume it's kind of in character, but he doesn't fully let you know, so just kind of keeping up with that whole way that MJF works. So
Yep. If you got your own funny awards or fun, not so funny awards, but like some serious ones that we didn't mention here, could be anything: faction of the year, stable of the year, tag team, whatever. I mean, whatever, anything that you're watching, come back and watching us, let us know. Comment here on Facebook or YouTube, or you can tweet at us at @CCG_WrestleCast. What's up, Mike?
Before we get to the 1 minute warning, there is one piece of news we missed. It's a small thing. So I'm just going to get to it real quick. Tommy, I'm just saying this because it happened and it's an honor for someone. But a young woman who is fighting for the Mission Pro Wrestling title August 20th at the next Mission Pro show in San Antonio was on Monday night and made it to Monday to main event against Tamina, and that is Jasmine Allure. Those of you who follow the WrestleCast may know her as the person that I give Tommy a hard time about often because of what happened the last time we were at Mission Pro, and he decided to harass her and then harass me when I was getting her autograph. So it's kind of our inside joke on the show. I'm always messing with her, but it is really cool. She's apparently going to show. I don't even know when main event happens. I got to find it on Peacock, I think.
Yeah, I think it's on Peacock. Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently before Raw, the dark matches, they were filming that, and she had a one-on-one match with Tamina. So that's pretty cool. For that, I won't even joke about it, Tommy. We'll just keep it. We'll keep it.
Oh, hey, wait! Save this screenshot when you watch it later.
Tommy,
I'm
gonna screenshot that and make that the poster I take to Mission Pro. I couldn't keep it. I couldn't keep it nice the whole time. Sorry.
Yeah. So congrats to her. Congrats to anyone else too, and the local make the most of it too.
That's, I don't really feel like going to WWE shows anymore, when they come to town. But that is the one thing I do kind of look forward to, is seeing what local talent gets a chance to be on, in the background as whatever they may be, and or sometimes getting matches. So so that's pretty cool.
All right, as Mike mentioned, it's time. Let's
whoa.
My bad. Jesus. Mike, do you have something this week?
Of course.
More Claudio stuff?
Of course.
I figured. All right, ready, set, and go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow night is week 1 of AEW Fyter Fest for their Dynamite show. And we have a former WWE tag team who is no longer apparently able to coexist. One-time Real American teammates, Claudio, then known as Cesaro, and Jake Hager, then known as Jack Swagger, will be facing off, as one of them is now part of the Blackpool Combat Club, and one of them is now part of the Jericho Appreciation Society. So, as much as they are both technical wizards, this is going to kind of be a little bit of two big sweaty men slapping meat, even though Cesaro's not really a big guy. He throws people around like a big dude, and Hager, for what he does, is a suplex machine. So should be a good, hard-hitting match. Looking forward to it. Claudio's my pick to really stand out in the second half of this year, so going for Claudio for the win.
Tommy says right there, it's going to be a Haas fight. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So, definitely. So, I don't know if I have something this week. It's hot as hell.
It is.
Yeah. I will go ahead and just say this. I'm gonna take some time to wish good luck. As some of y'all may know, I am a softball coach for my daughter's softball team, and this weekend in Laredo is the Pony League World Series. Opening ceremony was today, so for anyone out there that is whether you're cheering on a family member, a friend, or you're actually playing in the World Series itself, good luck. Make the most of it. And have fun. The game is meant to be fun. Yes, winning is nice, but have fun playing the game. There's so many that for some this may be the only time you ever do get to play. So enjoy it, play hard, and enjoy the experience. It is something pretty cool. I'm glad Larry's going to host it. We're going to be going to Laredo this weekend to visit some family. Might check out a game or two as well because we got some friends playing there. So. And most importantly to the coaches that out there, myself included, remember child first, sports second. Enjoy your time as a coach. It is very rewarding, but remember that it's all about the players, not necessarily about you. So
there you go. Tommy, do you want to send your 1 minute through the chat and I'll read it out? I don't know if that's something you want to try.
That might be too long.
Oh, you're already starting it? Okay, hold on. He says New Japan is... No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding, Tommy. Just kidding.
Good stuff. Well, thank you. There's Tommy's 1 minute warning. That's it right there. Boom. I don't know if it's time for that one. Thank you everyone for watching this week. Kind of a short show. Hey, we almost made it an hour, right? Oh, what else did he say? What else did he say? I'm going back here.
Love you, Tommy.
Right. Next week we're gonna be back and we're gonna be talking about Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. Hopefully,
Looking like a hell of a show.
it is a really, really good show. Tina's pretty excited for this one too, and we're hopefully Tommy's system is working. We're gonna try and work on some of these technical glitches and see if we can get it working or no problem, because I know he's gonna want to talk about it. And see what happens. I know Fyter Fest is going on this week and next week, but there might be some more Ring of Honor set up on Dynamite and Rampage for this as well. That's kind of the beauty of AEW being involved there as well. So,
Yes, indeed.
Yes, Tommy, I better have this issue fixed next week. I hope so.
We hope so too, man. We need you back on here.
Issues happening, but thank you everyone for watching. We do appreciate it. We'll catch you guys next week talking about Ring of Honor and a little bit more wrestling news, and hopefully it won't involve some of the things we did talk about, because I'm getting tired of discussing some of that stuff. Maybe it'll be more of like a injury news or good signings or things like that.
I don't know if I want to hear injury news either, unless they're coming back from injury.
That's what I meant to say. Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah. Jeez. Over here we got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
In the chat we had Tommy. I guess it's Tony. Yeah, there you go. And I'm JC, and as always, heels and baby faces. Remember, pro wrestling
is real. Oh, sorry.
People
are fake. Yeah, Tommy, you're not here. You threw me off. This one's for you, Tommy.
Catch you next time.
Sorry, man. Adios, Gunther. People are fake.